Inauguration with Cyril Ramaphosa's neighbours in Chiawelo in Soweto. Let's cross to him now. Manqoba, what is happening around you?
Well, Mahendra, can certainly tell you that there are no celebrations this time around here on the streets of Chiawelo, of course, compared to the scenes that we saw here on the 18th of December 2017 when Cyril Ramaphosa was elected as ANC president in Nasrec. Of course, you recall many of the residents coming out in their numbers here on the streets, dancing and celebrating his ascension within the ruling party. And of course, it was only a matter of time before he ascended to the highest office in the land. Of course, today being officially inaugurated as the country's 5th democratic president. And I can tell you certainly that many here are excited here, and I can tell you that there's a great sense of pride amongst neighbors and residents here in Chiawelo, who most of them spent their time to watch the developments. Many of them, I can tell you, when we arrived here, Mahendra, the streets were literally quiet, and up until now, where we see some activity again. And this tells you one thing, Mahendra, that many of the residents and neighbors here have been glued to their screens, watching the events unfold at Loftus in Pretoria, and of course, watching one of their own ascend to the highest office in the land. Of course, the street that we are talking from is where Cyril Ramaphosa spent his early childhood, and behind me here is the home of the president, where he grew up here in Chiawelo. And of course, this is where his political passion was ignited, here on the streets of Chiawelo, having attended Chiritso Primary School as well as Sikano Ntwana Secondary School, where of course he schooled in the 60s. And of course, yesterday we spoke to some of his classmates, Beatrice Maluleke, also known as Big Mama, saying that you could see the leadership skills from Ramaphosa from a young age. You could tell that he was going far. And of course, when many of the residents here speak of Ramaphosa, they speak of somebody who was very quiet, somebody who was very respectful, but more importantly, somebody who was very focused on his education. Many of the neighbors, of course, have been glued to their screens watching those developments. But now, let me speak to one of the neighbors. I'm now going to be joined by one of the neighbors who lives just opposite the president's home here in Chiawelo, Mama Mavis Mukwebo. Mama Mavis, of course, you are one of the residents here, the neighbors who have been watching the developments in Pretoria. How do you feel?
Ngijabule kakhulu, ngizizwa ngijabulile, angazi ukuthi ngingathini. Ngoba usiphakamisile la eShawela, uyiphakamisile iSoweto, ngoba iSoweto endaweni eziningi beyisabiwa ngendaba ye76 uprising. So ngijabule kakhulu, angazi ukuthi singathini, singabomakhelwane nje sijabulile futhi.
Mama, this, of course, you were too young at the time when Cyril Ramaphosa was growing up, but some of your family members know him. And what do they say about him? How do they describe him?
Usisi wami uze athi yena why angambizi ngoba bekahlala naye edeskini eli1 eSikanontwana. Ne brother in law yami bebafunda baqale from eChiritsi, basuke eChiritsi baya eMambo, from Mambo baya eSikanontwana to further their higher education. Then ema university ke baye bahlukana.
Okay. Of course, here speaking about the fact that Ubaba Cyril Ramaphosa was, of course, one of the people that studied at school with the sister, your sister, and of course, describing that she described the president really as somebody who was very respectful. And of course, Mama, another thing, the president now having ascended to the highest office in the land, and certainly as residents and neighbors, there are high expectations that you have. What are some of the things that you want to see the president prioritize?
Ikakhulu uNkulunkulu ngathi angamupha amandla kuqedwe icrime. Icrime iyo enkulu, kutholakale nemisebenzi. Ngoba imisebenzi ayikho, ngathi ne-youth ingakhona ukubekezela, uNkulunkulu abaphe ukubekezela ukuze zonke idunyo the president zifezeke. Zizofezeka ngani? Ngomkhuleko kuphela. Nathi singabomama, singabogogo, simkhulekise ukuthi uNkulunkulu amupha amandla.
Of course, Obama saying that she wishes that the president could create more jobs and that he will deal with the issue of crime here in the country, and saying that, of course, he must pray and so that he can run his administration very successfully. But Mamage, more than anything, what would you like to say to the president? What would be your message to him?
Ngithi uNkulunkulu ngathi angamupha amandla amqinise abe umholi oqotho abe umholi othembekayo emphakathini akwazi ukufezekisa zonke idingo zakhe ngakusho nje kuphela.
Okay, thank you, Mama. Thank you for your time. That was Mamu Mavis Manqoba speaking to us there. Of course, Mamu Manqoba, having been one of the neighbors, was watching the developments there in Pretoria, saying that she wishes that he'll have a successful administration. Let me speak to some of the residents. They've gathered here, of course, outside, and let's try and get a sense of how they are feeling today about the events that took place today, about the inauguration. Let me ask you, Baba. First of all, Baba, you're one of the people that stay here in the place. How are you feeling today about Cyril Ramaphosa, a man from that house, ascending to power?
It's exciting because it shows that either any one of us can do as he has done. We can achieve the greatness as possible as we can. So him being inaugurated is one up for Chiawelo, another one for Soweto. So big ups to him.
Okay, let me move to Baba. Baba, how are you feeling today?
Great, Baba. How are you?
I'm good, yeah. How are you feeling about President Cyril Ramaphosa, a man here from Chiawelo, taking the highest seat in the land?
I was there at my place sitting, so I see the people watching here by the TV. So I come here to support him, so it's been looking great. And then I think he's going to make some changes in this country. I can feel it. Some changes will come in South Africa.
Okay, Baba. Baba, how are you feeling and what are your expectations from President Ramaphosa?
Ndayandona chauthoma ndine mulovezi ndibva Venda ndimuvenda wapano Chiawelo ndandu kwamba uri changes dzine dzagodo vha hone zvino apano Chiawelo dzitova nzhi nga maanḓa sa izwi ro lavhelela uri ho mukalawe a tshi ḓo dzhena zwithu zwoṱhe zwi ḓo tshintsha fhano Chiawelo hausini fhano Chiawelo fhedzi I'm sorry fhano Chiawelo fhedzi South Africa yoṱhe yo fhelela zwi a tshi khou ri thuma mina u khou amba zwa vhukuma a tshi khou ri thuma mina u khou amba zwoṱhe zwine vhathu na khou lila ngazwo ndi ḓo zwi dzudzanya. Thanks.
Okay, of course, explaining that they, as residents of Chiawelo, they're also expecting to see some changes here as one of their own take oath at that highest office. Of course, many residents here are excited, and as I've said before, there's a great sense of pride, many of them wishing him well in his administration and saying that they hope that he'll make South Africa a better place. It's back to you in studio, Mahendra.
Thank you very much indeed, our reporter Manqoba Mchunu, who is reporting to us from Chiawelo in Soweto.